Our Summit League Hoops coverage continues from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Anna Bellinghausen, Avery Howard, Missy Heydrich, and Commissioner Josh Fenton joining us. Commish, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having us. Year 3 here. Thanks for letting us come back.
Well, you guys are a big part of this show, so appreciate what you do to showcase women's basketball across the league. And yeah, I mean, this is always a great event. Yeah. I mean, we prioritize around experiences for our student athletes just generally. And I think we can showcase Summit League basketball, and obviously for the student athletes that are involved, we can give them a great experience. And so it's always a fun day when we get to this point. It also feels like a bit of a unofficial start to the basketball season's coming. So I guess we're almost there.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And the next time we're really truly in this arena, it's like one of the best experiences in this city. And just when you see what this place turns into in March, just what makes you the most proud of not only just the product, but the way that Sioux Falls just really rallies behind this event, how you've seen this league really continue to grow.
Yeah, so first off, just so everybody's aware, we've extended our relationship with the Premier Center and Sioux Falls through the 29 championships. So for the next 4 championships, we'll be here, and we're excited about that. We went through a long, exhaustive process to get to this point, but excited to be here. But Avery, to answer your question, the community supports the event tremendously. Yeah. And we're really appreciative of the community support. Obviously, you see it in the stands. You see it around town, in business fronts. You know, you talk to people, and people ask me around town, you know, who do you work for? And I say the Summit League, and it's always, the basketball tournament. So it's always connected to that, which we're very proud of. We think it's one of the best, if not the best, mid-major combined gender tournaments across the country. And I would say that, you know, autonomy level all the way down through the mid-major level. And so excited to be back here when we get here in March, but we got a long ways to go before we get there.
Yeah, it's October 7th. So
exactly. Thank you.
Sorry, all of us.
I got excited.
The football season just started.
Sorry. Josh, this league has been built around the quality of both men's and women's basketball. And women's basketball has seen championships really run through the state of South Dakota in terms of the domination of SDSU and USD for a while. But we know that a lot of mid-major conferences and all of these coaches here today, they understand that you're more than likely a one-bid league. It doesn't happen very often for mid-majors to do that. At the conference level, how do you communicate with athletic directors, SWAs, and coaches and talk about, all right, let's think about our scheduling. Let's think about what it is we need to do in the non-con as you prepare for conference, and maybe position yourself where there could be that year where this is an ultra-competitive league and you could be multi-bid.
Yeah, so first off, I would say that within our strategic plan, which was done a couple of years ago, there's a prioritization around the sport of basketball in general. So we call out the sport of basketball within the strategic plan, and we talk about some of the things that you mentioned. How can we help them from a scheduling standpoint? We had a meeting with our coaches yesterday, and we did talk about non-conference scheduling. I think it's a bit more challenging to find games, meaningful games on the men's side, but it's starting to creep into it a little bit on the women's side, which, by the way, I don't think is great for the sport of college basketball. And so, you know, whether it's a Big Sky Challenge or other concepts like that, we batted around a few concepts yesterday. You know, we can help in that regard with non-conference. You know, from a media rights standpoint, how can we showcase them with our agreement with CBS Sports Network? We've had 2 regular season women's games each of the last 2 years, plus the tournament games have been on. And so trying to provide a greater spotlight around just basketball in general, but specifically women's basketball. You know, we're actually working through what we refer to as a new core sport requirement policy in the league. And we believe it's going to elevate the investment in men's and women's basketball on our campuses. And so our coaches have potentially some more resources that they can go out and use and from a recruiting standpoint. You know, the environment nationally is very unstable. Just across the board, not necessarily specific to basketball. But with the transfer portal, you know, add on to the fact NIL and revenue sharing, that type of thing, it's become even more challenging. And so, you know, we've prioritized ourselves around having strong basketball in the Summit League, and I think that will continue in the future. We have 3 new coaches on the women's side. And so I know that they're looking to make their marks. And The Jackrabbits will be tough to beat, as they typically are, but I think we'll have a very competitive conference season.
I think that's the beauty of it is that this has always been an incredibly competitive league. When you talk about national conversations, those impact each of these schools and each of these programs and athletic departments. Revenue sharing has been that new thing that was sprung on all of us. I mean, it was coming. It was just a matter of how people were going to do it. I know 8 of 9 of the schools within your league opted into revenue sharing. What have those conversations been like as you talk to athletic directors, even coaches or what have you, about managing what that looks like for them? Because it's unique in every place.
Yeah, I would describe it as this. I would describe it as a tool to allow more flexibility for a coach, athletic director, to provide resources to their student athletes. And so resources can be looked at in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
We've got a grant and aid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it a full grant and aid? Is it a partial grant and aid? We have cost of attendance stipends that come with grant and aids. We have academic achievement awards, also known as Alston Awards. Mm-hmm. And now we have institutional revenue sharing. And oh, by the way, third party outside the system.
NIL.
NIL. Yeah, exactly. And so I just look at it as just another tool in the toolbox, and then let the institutions manage it what they believe is best for their own set of circumstances. Mm-hmm. And this new policy that I was referring to will actually allow for greater flexibility to use whatever means possible, so as long as that they're investing at a certain level, and that includes institutional NIL agreements, revenue sharing, whatever you want to refer to them as. Yeah. And so I just think it's another opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt.
What are those big questions, or maybe questions that are repeating themselves from whether it's athletic directors, coaches that you're receiving on this topic? What's coming to you the most in terms of how they manage this new college landscape? Well,
I think a lot of them right now are what I would call mechanical, because the system itself has just been set up. Yeah. I mean, we as the industry just propped up a couple systems to manage the rev share and the third-party NIL Go, which is the rev share, and then what they refer to as the cap management system. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of managing through those different systems and the requirements that are necessary. You've read about the stories of maybe some of the challenges on third-party NIL, trying to help them through those types of things. We actually use we have outside counsel in Indianapolis that's very versed in the NCAA space, and they provide webinars, template forms of contracts that institutions can use to help them, mm-hmm. How do I manage this a little bit better? And so we try to do small things like that. But I think right now it's kind of figuring out, where they fit in this, and where's the sweet spot in terms of how to use all the tools in the toolbox. I think everybody, us included, will be a little smarter a year from now, and people will do things maybe a little differently.
Yeah. I would love to ask you, because I think there's been conversation, and as a basketball-centric league, about NCAA tournament expansion. I know it's kind of been tabled, not necessarily happening in 2026, but there's a discussion of it moving forward. As commissioner of this league and representation of all of these schools, what's your thought about expansion?
Well, I talked to the Field of 68 guys over there, and they asked me if they needed to change their mic flags and their shirts to Field of 76 or 72. And
just what number it's going to be.
And Rob said, well, the mic flags are pretty expensive. I said, here's the deal, Rob. I said, you just send the bill to all the commissioners. Yeah. And so that's going to signal my answer a little bit, is that I think we're in the business of experience and opportunity. And the men's and the women's basketball tournament, one of the greatest sporting spectacles that we have across our society. Mm-hmm. And if we can expand the experience and opportunity for those in that event, even if it's just a couple handful more teams, we should be doing that. Mm-hmm. So as long as the business terms and the business operations can be managed to where we're not losing money now, mm-hmm. or costs are not falling to us that previously weren't, or unit values are decreasing. And I have full faith and trust in the NCAA leadership and Lynn Holzman and Danny Gavitt that they're working through that, and that we'll get to a positive place where the business terms will be figured out. And I think when and if that comes, it sounds as if that we'll be ready to move forward. So I'm certainly supportive of it.
Yeah. Well, Josh, you've answered all the hard questions. I just got an easy one.
A couple
for
easy
you.
ones, perfect.
I've asked every player this, and I'm like, we got to ask the commish this. So
Well, these are always the hard ones for me. If you're going to be like, hey, what's your favorite sandwich? That's the one I'm like,
no.
Shoot.
So
now.
you're sitting at the tournament in March. You get to sit courtside next to one celebrity the whole
goodness.
time. Who are you picking to sit next to? Who's your favorite?
just anybody.
Any celebrity.
That you'd want to bring in to watch your
Who's attending
basketball.
the Summit League tournament?
You
Bring
gonna
in to
hang out
watch your
with them?
tournament.
That's an interesting question. So I'm starting to think of like, okay, who could help us from a basketball?
No, this is just your personal. Just
Oh, my personal.
This is just personal. Yeah, just like
plus
who
one
you
to
would
the
want to hang
tournament.
out with. Who do you want to hang out with?
I'd love to sit next to Jack Nicklaus,
Okay.
That would be a blast.
one of the best, if not the best, golfers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up playing the sport. It was a big part of my life as an adolescent. I think that would be fantastic.
That would be
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he can help you figure out the game, and then
That's
he can
right.
figure-
Yeah,
That's right.
We'll
You're
fix
always
it.
thinking-
I fix my swing.
This
We
is
get
why-
a few swing lessons on
That's why
courtside.
you're a good commissioner. You're always thinking about the business side of it too.
Yeah.
Well, I
How
was
can he help?
thinking, maybe Jay Billis, and he could come in and then talk positively about the Summit League
All day
Yeah.
for 4 days
Yeah,
straight.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something.
Jay?
Yes.
But to that point, when people come here from, previously ESPN was our partner, but now CBS, and the CBS personalities that have come in here that haven't been here before, and they see the tournament, it's kind of like, wow, I didn't realize this.
They love it. Yep.
They love it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
For
All
sure.
right. Well, Commissioner, thanks so much for hanging out with us, answering our hard and easy questions. We appreciate you, and thanks for having us here.
Yeah, thanks for you guys doing what you do and being here to support Summit League basketball.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.